Recent stats suggest the number of daily flossers is under 30%, and maybe as low as 10%. That's probably because flossing is tedious and inconvenient. It also provides a preventative benefit rather than an additive one. It seems most people would rather spend time and energy gaining a reward than preventing a problem. On the podcast Ear Biscuits, Rhett McLaughlin once shared that he had been flossing regularly, but what got him out of the healthy routine was an online article that suggested flossing may not be essential to dental care or could even have harmful side effects. Upon reflection, he recognized the article was really clickbait silliness, but he wanted to believe it, so he did for long enough to break his helpful habit. This is a great example of a common way the human psyche can distort our perception of reality called confirmation bias. It twists how we obscure data in a subconscious effort to accept and believe the evidence that supports what we want to believe, while ignoring or otherwise dismissing the evidence against what we want to believe. Any human who genuinely cares about having an accurate perception of the truth needs to be especially conscientious of the constant threat of confirmation bias. That's why scientists need to run multiple forms of experiments and actively attempt to disprove their own hypotheses before drawing official conclusions, only to then have those conclusions peer-reviewed and double-blind tested by other scientists without their personal biases before those conclusions can be applied. They have to be certain that all the available evidence is fairly considered, not just the evidence that supports their desired conclusions, or at least as certain as they can be. I bring this up because I think it's a key factor affecting our current mess of a social climate. Technology has also advanced much faster than we've been able to adjust to it. In under a decade, we went from the majority of people having no cell phones at all, with social media barely existing, to the majority of people carrying pocket computers featuring multiple forms of social media. We have fresh ways to package and share information in larger quantities faster than we can contemplate how to best use them, and if we even should. So vast numbers of people are more accessible today than have ever been before, and not just the people in our immediate social circles, but celebrities of all kinds with built-in audiences of millions. So far, so good, right? Access to more information from more sources than ever should be a good thing, but nobody has time to process that much data, which has put us at the mercy of algorithms to sort and prioritize it for us. Without those algorithms, a Google search would yield a random assortment of responses without regard to relevance, credibility, popularity, or anything else. That, or it would just have to be populated by a single arbitrary criterion, such as the recency of website updates or alphabetical order. The same is true for the posts of all your 798 friends on Facebook and the videos posted by the 91 people who've earned your subscription on YouTube. You get the point. Algorithms help to make the information we process smooth and relevant to us, including advertisements. I can't speak for you, but if I have to hear or see ads, I'd rather they be catered to my actual interests than information that's utterly irrelevant to me. The problem is what can pop out of the oven when ingredients include human susceptibility to confirmation bias, unprecedented and still rising dependency and addiction to social media, and algorithms designed to feed us more of what we've told them we like to see. Sprinkle in some hardwired tribal tendencies like groupthink, and you have a recipe for a bona fide cultural clusterfuck. Those same devices that advertisers use to keep your eyes on those products you like are used to do the same with the images, news, and even posts of family and friends with whom you interact the most. We constantly see rapidly spread, rarely fact-checked information with minimal citation or credibility at all. When we do encounter dissenting opinions, we can and often do simply block, unfriend, or otherwise censor them from the discussion. Those who we don't choose to outright censor are typically shouted down by a dense circle of peers who already agree with whoever's page it is. This creates a real risk of unearned self-righteousness and self-importance. It allows popular opinions of the whole society and popular opinions within smaller tribal circles to easily drown out the more nuanced and accurate expert opinions or just fair information from dissenting sources. The reality is that we need to be challenged in order to grow, whether exercising our muscles, developing our unclear positions on complicated issues, or refining the rhetoric for our passionately held beliefs. Iron sharpens iron, and we need to be challenged to improve. It has become dangerously popular now to reject challenges and growth in favor of comfort from the many we have been able to find who already agree with us. While there are some obvious social benefits to people with minority opinions finding one another and shedding their dreadful feelings about self-doubt, there are also drawbacks. While a small group of atheists in rural South Carolina may find each other and take comfort in no longer feeling so alone and ashamed and crazy, a group of white supremacists in California with access to an internet that mostly shows them more of what they already believe can do the same thing. The internet is modern civilization's ultimate double-edged sword, and I'm of no belief that we're just going to turn it off and stop using it or eschew all the benefits and uses of social media. But my hope is that at least by being aware of some of those dangers I touched on here, will keep more of us from being cut by that double-edged sword.